This is On the Trail, where we update you on what some of the 2020 candidates are doing. The leading 10 Democratic presidential candidates shared the stage for the first time and clashed over health care coverage and how to pay for it. CBS's Natalie Brand was in Houston, where the presidential hopefuls were looking for a way to stand out from the crowd.
Voters tuned into the third Democratic debate, which did little to shake up the field.
It's still really early in the season, so it's good to hear from everybody and then kind of be able to narrow down my choice from there.
With the very first question, candidates clashed over Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's Medicare for All plan.
Medicare for All is the most cost-effective approach.
How do we pay for it? We pay for it. Those at the very top, the richest individuals and the biggest corporations, are going to pay more.
But moderates, including former Vice President Joe Biden, questioned the cost.
They're going to give back that money to the employee?
Matter of fact, they will.
Well, let me tell you something. For a socialist, you got a lot more confidence in corporate America than I do.
As the frontrunner, Biden faced a challenge from former Housing Secretary Julian Castro, who's trying to improve his standing in the polls. But the moment drew a gasp from the crowd.
You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for Medicaid,
are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Be in for it.
Afterward, Castro insisted it was a difference of policy, not an attack on Biden's age.
I stuck to policy tonight. I talked about the difference between my health care plan and Vice President Biden's plan.
While some said Castro went too far, fellow Texan Beto O'Rourke drew praise from fellow candidates for focusing on gun violence after the massacre in his hometown of El Paso.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
Democrats will debate again next month in Ohio. And Natalie Brand, CBS News, Houston.
Well, Nevada Republican Party Chairman Michael McDonald sent out a statement about the debate saying, quote, Nevadans are finally prospering, yet each and every one of these candidates would undo all of our progress and return to the high unemployment and stagnant wages we saw during the Obama-Biden administration. Worse yet, he continued, they are determined to make our communities less safe by opening up our borders to any and everyone that wants to enter, unquote. Well, McDonald will keep his title as chairman for the state Republican Party for another 2 years through the 2020 election. The party also approved a resolution that will allow the Central Committee to vote to bind the delegates to President Trump before the February caucus. Those caucus meetings will still take place, but only to select delegates to the county conventions. That's the first step on the road to attending the national convention next summer. And Democratic presidential candidate Mayor Pete Buttigieg opened his first office right here in Las Vegas. It's on Charleston between Eastern and Maryland Parkway. His campaign kicked off the opening on Thursday with a debate watch party. His supporters were probably happy. He had a pretty good night on Thursday. The latest CBS Battleground Tracker poll of Nevada Democratic caucus goers has a new leader right here in the Silver State. The poll has Bernie Sanders slightly ahead of Joe Biden at 29 to 27%. They're followed by Elizabeth Warren at 18% and Kamala Harris at 6%. The same poll asked caucus goers to list any of the candidates they'd consider supporting. Warren led that question, followed by Sanders and Biden. All three got more than 50% support on that second question. Well, up next, remembering 9/11. We'll show you how Las Vegans are remembering the lives lost 18 years ago. That's next on